Hello and welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. Coming to you on Tuesday evening. Well, we did plan to record on Sunday, but as I think you'll all be aware, we needed a few, not just hours, but a few days to get over Sunday's events. And even though this is obviously the Arsenal podcast, if a bit of blue creeps in, you will forgive us. We'll try and behave ourselves. But we'll see. We're here to talk about the game on Sunday, everything else Arsenal over the next 40 or 45 minutes or so, and anything else that, well, we're going to cover. I'm delighted to welcome to the show a new voice, Rob. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, hello.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, yourself?
As I ask of everybody that comes into this show, new, would you like to give us a little intro about yourself and how you started supporting Arsenal? Yeah,
I can do. Not actually from London, although no one can probably tell from the voice, from Wolverhampton. At the age of about 6 or 7, I was corrupted by my family from London to supporting Arsenal instead of Wolves.
You say corrupted like it's a bad word.
Well, that is true. It wasn't quite corrupted, but there's some members of my family who think that it was like being brainwashed, basically. Probably not the worst choice to support them, seeing as I watched Wolves for about 4 years at Molineux, and well, Glenn Hoddle's tactics caused me to give up my season ticket. Anyway, that's not the point. I've been supporting Arsenal since about 2001, which wasn't a bad year, seeing as we went to the Dublin 2002. So, bit of a glory hunter. Also, I don't care.
Oh, absolutely. Fair enough. Put your cards on the table, Rob. That's what we like.
I have my angry pitchforks coming after me now.
Maybe. Yeah. So were you? So you supported Wolves. Were you leaning towards Birmingham City or anything? It was always going to be Wolves, if anything else.
I'd say so. It probably would have been Wolves, but it was Arsenal. Just with the first into my heart, I'm afraid to say.
Good man. You drove through the. Yeah.
But no, I did have a season ticket and Molineux for a few years when they're in the Championship.
Excellent. And also with us this evening is Mr. Diamond Jack. All right, breathe.
Hello.
Breathe.
It doesn't get any easier. Hi, Rob. You'll probably come to understand there are very few things in this world that I hate more than Chelsea Football Club. The main reason we didn't record Sunday is because I physically couldn't talk about the game to anyone in the car on the way home, to my family when I got home, to anyone at work on Monday. This has been the kind of first opportunity that I've had to even sort of think about the game after seeing a slowed down clip of Mertesacker's tackle on Diego Costa on Twitter yesterday and almost throwing my phone across the office. I'm so angry. But I'm sure we'll cover that more in a second.
Yeah. Okay, so I honestly don't know where to begin. I guess we do. Normally I'd sort of summarise the game, but I think we'll avoid that this week and we'll cut straight to the chase and talk about Mertesacker and Mr. Diego Costa. Yeah.
Can I start by saying Diego Costa is a diving, cheating bastard, please?
Okay, I'll allow that word. Yeah.
Shakespeare used it. It's fine.
Indeed. Yeah. If the bard can say it, then we can. Okay. Well, let's first about Mertesacker. Right now, goodness knows, we all love to hate Per Mertesacker.
I don't. I love him.
Okay, yeah, he's great. He's a BFG. I've got a T-shirt of him. It's in my cupboard. I haven't worn it for a while. I don't think I will for a while after that. But why on earth was he... Why? Rule number 1 of football is when you tackle, you look at the ball. Why was he tackling Diego Costa, the most unpredictable so-and-so, and looking across to see if he's onside? You look... hold on, Jack.
Go on.
I think it was Jamie Carragher on Sky said you've got to look across and then make the tackle. But he looked, but well before. Why is he doing that? He knows there's no one across, and he's looking across almost to see if he's onside. But then it's not like it's a long time before, it's like a split second, and he goes to make the tackle, and then he looks. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I think it's a crazy decision. It's one of Mertesacker's now got a bit of a rap sheet for me. Like, you know, he's not the quickest defender in the world, and it's like, it's just.
I don't think he's looking across the linesman, though. I think he's looking to see if there's any other player around him, if he is the last man. Because we're playing such a high line against Chelsea. It's almost comical how high our line, how far up the pitch our line is. Because, yes, you do have Per Mertesacker, who, again, is about as slow as erosion. And I've just... Surely some of it has to fall onto Koscielny as well for not covering his man. But I think that, okay, we've got into this position, but personally I'm quite... You know, it's such a hard thing to say because, you know, I think it was a good tackle, personally. I don't think he's clipped him at all. I think he's got the ball, and I just think that if Koscielny maybe had been 2 steps behind Mertesacker, that he would have caught up to Diego Costa as he's through on goal towards towards Peter Cech.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been a red card, and then, do you know what I mean? Like, it would have been kind of a moot point, anyway.
But if he's tackled him, it's not a moot point at all, because it's not a red card.
Okay,
if he's got the ball.
Yeah, fair. I can see, looking live, it looked pretty bad. So, and you've got to think that's the referee's view as well. So,
yeah. Well, the lino's got a view of it as well.
Yeah, true. But I mean,
and yes, okay, full speed. And I don't know because my seat in the ground is directly sort of in line to where the tackle happened. So I saw it full speed, full time, ready to go, and I thought he got the ball. And I'm not just saying it because it's Chelsea. I'm not just saying it because it's Diego Costa, and I'm not just saying it because it's Arsenal. So I'm genuinely not. I genuinely thought it was a good tackle. And Diego Costa rolling round, I can't do this. I can't actually talk about this, I don't think.
Okay, we'll mute you for 2 seconds. Yeah, no, just a bit of self-censorship might have to be brought in. Rob, we'll come to you. What are your views on first Mertesacker and tackle, and was it, in your opinion, foul? And then, you know, yeah.
I mean, I don't think he gets too much on the ball. I think he's been done by his own reputation that he can't handle pace, and that's done him because he looks over at the line, and he could be looking at Koscielny as well, but he's almost been done by his reputation, if you get what I mean. Like, he knows he can't be big paces, so he's going, I've got to make this tackle, rather than perhaps the rational thought thinking.
The trouble is, it didn't help him because it just looked desperate. It just looked really desperate. It was a lunging tackle.
Whereas I think if he was thinking about it rationally, thinking, right, I'm not going to make this tackle because I'm going to get sent off and it's going to cost us the game, rather than not let Costa through as just, I'm going to stand there, but all sort of see if he can usher him down the line a little bit, which he probably couldn't, but almost leave it into the hands of Cech. We've got arguably the best goalkeeper in the league. Let's see if he can save it, which he might have done. Diego Costa's not done too well. I know he's sort of back in form recently, but he's not been the most prolific striker this season. But you're at 11 men, and you're 1 down, and you're against a team that hasn't done very well at keeping leads this season.
I know. I was talking about this again with a few other Arsenal fans after the game, a couple of hours after the game, and we're like, well, yeah, I think it's easy. It's in hindsight, it's very easy to say that, but again, like with Jens Lehmann against Barcelona, kind of instinct takes over. So I think it'd be really difficult to just, you know, you're a defender and it's your job to cut the ball out, and if you can do, you will go for it. I
don't blame him for making the tackle. I think instinctively, as a defender, your first instinct is, I've got to get that ball. I've got to make sure Diego to get through. And he's probably also thinking, you know what, Koscielny's around about the area. It's early in the game. It's my first defence. The referee's going to come over and book me for this, and I'm going to take a good yellow and have a free kick, which will probably come to nothing. But Clattenburg's obviously gone for the red, and he's a bit unlucky in that sense.
I don't think I've not got any qualms with his decision. I think he took his time with it, and I did think, well, is he level? Is he gonna going to get the yellow, and he went to the top. Oh God! So
Yeah.
Here we go. Jack, I'm going to come back to you.
Okay.
And you know what I'm going to say to you? 2 words.
I genuinely don't.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Diego Costa.
Could be banana trumpet. I don't know.
It's not banana trumpet. No. Diego Costa.
He's. I just do not know how people are saying that it's clever, because it's not. It's cheating. Prove to me that it's not cheating. That he's rolling round like he's just got a double fracture in his leg and his ankle's hanging off. Because how can that not be influencing the referee's decision? If he'd gone down and tried to get up and try and play the ball forward and have a shot on goal, is Per Mertesacker getting sent off there? Really and truly? No, he isn't. He isn't getting sent off. If he falls over and rolls around like that, it's forcing the referee's hand almost.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And that is bringing the game into disrepute. It's unsportsmanlike behaviour, and I'm sick of it. It's just it is the personification of what Chelsea Football Club are and always have been. And I cannot understand how people go, well, it's gamesmanship, it's very clever, la 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 la. Yes, we've had players who've done it in the past, but name the last time a player did it for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? We don't do that anymore because yeah, exactly. That's the last time. I just think that, you know, and I'm standing in the ground with my dad, and he's gone, yeah, but you know, if he plays for you love it and that kind of stuff. I suppose so, but he doesn't. He doesn't play for us. And he's done us again, and the Chelsea fans were singing it. You know, oh, Diego Costa, he's done you again. And you know, I don't know how you combat that apart from either video technology during the game or retrospective bans. Because, you know, if you're looking at it genuinely, okay, let's say for example that Per Mertesacker, he was the last man and he caught him minutely and he got sent off. Diego Costa's reaction isn't that of someone who's been touched minutely, is it? It's someone who's been touched unminutely is what it is, quite forcefully, if anything.
It's someone who's been shot with a cattle gun.
It's someone who's been shot out of a cannon, mate, is what
It's
it
like
is.
he's been shot by Anton Chigurh.
I'm like, I don't... But it's you know, and we're talking. It's supposed to be quite a light-hearted podcast sometimes, but I just keep coming back to this thing about it's ruining football. It really is ruining football. But Chelsea don't care. Chelsea got 3 points. That's all they care about. And he pops up, and this is the thing, right? He rolls around like that, then he pops up 6 minutes later and scores the winner. How can that be allowed? If he's that hurt, how can that be allowed? But people will say it's gamesmanship, all this kind of stuff. And yes, there is a bit of it that we are a bit naive when it comes to Diego Costa, as well as other players like that have come before him, i.e. Didier Drogba. But, you know, I just think that... And people will accuse me of being a moaning Arsenal fan. Well, sometimes, yeah. You know, we are levelled at that. But name another club it happens to, you know. And this whole thing with this record against Chelsea is so poor. Like, no win in 9 games against them. It's just the worst feeling in the world getting beat by them.
Yeah,
expletives.
I concur with that. It's like, I suppose, yeah, another reason we didn't record, not just because Jack was probably bouncing off the wall at some point, or something perhaps more extreme than that, I don't know, it's the first game that I've literally felt sick after for a long time. I don't really, you know...
I think the last time I felt this bad was away to Chelsea, actually, yeah.
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 It's the worst Chelsea team.
When Diego Costa got another one of our players.
This is the thing, Rob. Like, it's Chelsea are, goodness me, what, they 14th? And they've done the double over us. But it's like, it's, you know, it's like, was it even last season or the season before that? Yeah, last season, probably the worst Man United side, and yet we couldn't beat them. That's true.
We cannot take advantage when the big clubs are.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. We're like,
and Liverpool as well. We've got 2 draws out of them this season, where really we should be beating them.
We've said, yeah. I mean, Liverpool was kind of different, I think, but like we've said before on the podcast that. It's like, oh, you know, yeah, why don't we just go and, okay, we're 3-0 up, no, we'll just go and destroy them. But it's not what we do. We are we're an extremely naive team, and that's that's where our extremely naive manager Arsene Wenger comes in, unfortunately. And on that subject, so Mertesacker can be sent off. I think, right, okay, hold on. I'm just like, oh god, here we go again. And I'm thinking, right, who's going to come on? So he brings Gabriel on, so probably for Joel, or probably not Theo because it's his 10th anniversary. We'll get more into that in a little bit.
Yeah,
and the officials board, the substitute ball goes up, and it's number 12. I'm thinking, what? What are you doing? Now, like, there's been various opinions on this in the days since the game, and it's like, well, look. Our problem in the past is having a target man. We needed that. It's not, you can't just have pace everywhere. I understand why he kept Joel and Theo on. I absolutely do. You could stick Theo up front, but in Theo Walcott, in the form he is in, he doesn't merit that. Not at the moment. And Giroud told up players against Chelsea. He was a sub and he came on and he took on 5 players and he won a free kick, which I was. I gave him a massive round of applause, and I wasn't the only one in the pub watching it. So it's all very well if you're going to. For the man down, we have to play with the counter attack. You can do that with pace, but you also need the hold up player. You can't just to counter attack. You need the target man. Where was that? It was nowhere. And since he came off, I mean that's what cost us the game. Mertesacker getting sent off didn't cost us the game. It was when Giroud came off. Rob.
Yeah, and also, I mean, pace is pretty useless because as soon as we went a goal down, Chelsea weren't going to leave any space in behind. So, Terry and Zuma are going to sit deep. You're not going to get space in behind. Theo Walcott doesn't have a trick to beat a man. So we were pretty screwed in that sense until Alexis came on. I mean, the whole Walcott... I'm not going to jump the gun on the Walcott thing. I was about to go on about the captaincy, but that's for later.
I'm going to go on about the captaincy, if you want to bring it up.
I mean... I just don't get it. Yes, it's his 10th anniversary, but leave it until... I know it wouldn't have made contextual sense, but if you're going to do that sort of a thing, you do it on the last day when the titles are wrapped up. You don't do it in January.
Completely agree.
I think we both 100% agree with you. I stood on Twitter, basically, I don't know why Mertesacker's the captain anyway, to be honest. I have to be honest about that. But as a captain, you can't just go handing the captaincy armband around like it's a bag of effing sweets, is what I said on Twitter. And that's it. I get that impression. And it's always a lovely touch, but it's a sort of sentimental rubbish from this club, from Wenger's last few years as, the club. I don't want to blame Wenger for that, but it's the intrinsic nature of our club. It's just rubbish.
It wouldn't be so bad. I know England's sort of the only country that gives a massive deal about captains and stuff, but it wouldn't be so bad if Walcott had any leadership presence
or he'd
whatsoever.
earned it lately, and he hasn't done that. So to give him the captaincy, it's like, and it's no wonder Twitter exploded about it, because it was just, I just shake my head.
You've got to think that they'd have seen that Chelsea and gone, they're not taking this seriously, right? We are taking this seriously now.
Exactly, and it's the sort of message we frequently sent out against the biggest sides.
Did it against Chelsea last time when
Chelsea
it was Wenger's
Chelsea but yeah, exactly. Jack, I guess you want to echo those sentiments.
It's an absolute besmirch against the captaincy, mate.
Yeah.
Arsene's thing is he expects all 11 players to be captains out there on the pitch, and it's a token gesture. I'm sorry, that's bollocks. It's not.
That's crazy.
It's not, because think of the people who we have had as captain in this football club over the years. Going back to people like Frank McClintock, Tony Adams, even Thierry, who was an awful captain, but he still had the mentality of a captain. Patrick Vieira, do you know what I mean? These people are bad losers. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to lose any football match, whether it's their testimonial or against Manchester United at Old Trafford. They don't want to lose any game. And I do certainly understand a certain degree of why Per Mertesacker is the captain, because of his presence off of the pitch. He's kind of like an older statesperson. He's a very respected member of the side for being a part of the Germany setup for so long and getting so many caps for them and that kind of stuff. But I do genuinely think it's time for it to be passed on to someone else. Maybe maybe Alexei should be captain, or Peter Cech, or I mean, I'm not a massive fan of goalies being captain, but maybe Peter Cech or Koscielny, or someone like that. I just think that Theo Walcott's is another kind of euphemism I will use. Theo Walcott is the embodiment of Arsenal Football Club over the last 10 years. We're very, very nice. We're very, very polite. We're very, very happy to turn up, and we look like we can flatter to deceive sometimes. We're very quick and all that kind of stuff. But when push comes to shove, we just ain't good enough. And everyone on Twitter was raving about 10 years of Theo and la, 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 la. And his pictures over the last 10 years is cement what he has been at Arsenal for the last 10 years. Same after same haircut, same facial expression.
It's evolved slightly, but yeah, I know.
It's evolved about as much as he has evolved as a human being.
Yeah.
Like he's such a lovely boy, but he's so boring.
He's so infuriating.
He's so lovely, isn't he, Theo?
You're right. He's just... It's like him and Jack Wilshere swap personalities. Do you know what I mean? Hello, I'm Theo Walcott. Jack's like, yes, bruv, what are you saying? Like, it's like, I just don't understand the thinking behind it. You're absolutely right, Rob. End of the season, 100% let him be captain for the last home game of the year, and then send him to Liverpool, or all I care. But for me, that is the thing, is that he is what we have become. No one fears us anymore. Maybe little teams fear us, but not major players anymore. It's very, very sad.
This brings me nicely on to this week's question for you lovely viewers out there, listeners, sorry. Theo Walcott, 10 years of Arsenal Football Club. What has he done? If you would like to give us your opinions, you can on the Facebook group, and also on Twitter. You can get us on Twitter at @E_ArsenalNet, all one word. My personal opinion, that my best memory of Theo is probably...
Yeah, exactly.
Anfield, and we still lost that game.
I was going to go to Anfield, but also giving the two fingers up to Spurs fans in the cup.
That was good as well.
But that was just
before he injured.
Exactly, yeah.
It's always bad moments with Walcott. First goal against Chelsea, we lost the cup final anyway.
It was like, well, I'm going to be out for a year. We'll give you a parting blow. Well, great, Theo. We'd rather have you back and give you your fingers back, so to speak.
My favourite Theo Walcott moment was when he did the advert for Emirates for Christmas one year, because it was hilarious watching him fail over and over and over again.
I tell you what, he's doing the cricket. He's doing the Vitality voiceovers, and I nearly throw up now when I hear it. It's like it was on straight after the game, and then to hear Theo Walcott's voice is like, oh my god, what are you doing to us, Sky? Like, just rubbing the salt in our wounds.
It's infuriating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he really did against Chelsea, if anything. Apart from being offside about 6 times. I was just screaming at them in TV. It's like,
Going back to the Giroud thing, though, I do understand why he did it, but it was
I can agree.
Completely the wrong decision.
I can see why he did it. That's not the problem I have, but it was totally the wrong decision.
Yes.
At the time, I mean, there was all this rumour that he picked up a knock or something before the game, and so at the time I was thinking, well, okay, because if he's only going to get an hour out of Giroud, it's another substitute he's got to sacrifice. But watching the game go by, you go, well, we haven't got anything without him now, so you might as well have taken the hour.
As soon as he came off, you knew that was probably going to be it. Especially with Flamini, the chances he had at the end in the second half. Ramsey's lovely little ball at the end of the first half over the top of the Chelsea defence. I think, well, if Giroud, he might have ballooned it as well, but it's Giroud. I'd rather have Giroud than Flamini.
He's our top scorer at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, I think, not Flamini, obviously. He likes the...
Of course not Flamini.
I mean, he likes scoring against Spurs, but that's about it.
Well, would he have taken Thierry Henry off in that situation?
Of course not.
I would never take Thierry off. I'd bring him on now.
When we lost Yeah, too right. When we lost, he was upstairs. He wasn't far away.
Do you know what I mean?
Warm up.
Thierry, get changed, mate.
Yeah, excuse my language. And we didn't do it in Paris. You know, I think when Lehmann got sent off, we all knew Thierry wouldn't get the ball. He should have scored before Lehmann got sent off, but that's another issue.
Oh.
But let's not go over that. Oh, goodness me.
10 years ago.
That hurts. That hurts. It still hurts. It really does. Crying into my, multiple... It was crying into my vodka at that stage of the night, actually. So great to have Alexis back. As soon as he came on, he looked a bit nervous about, coming back from you. He didn't want to over-exert himself and get injured again. But as soon as he came, there's one particular bit where he's running across over the halfway line and he's pointing, he's directing traffic. It's great to see. Rob, what do you think? It was good, obviously good to have him back. But what can we expect from Alexis now, do you think?
I mean, I'm in an iron about, do I play him in the Burnley game? Do I play him in this?
I wouldn't, to be honest. I wouldn't.
I mean, I really wouldn't either. As much as I would like to win the FA Cup again, it is not at the top of my priorities right now. It's great to have him back because it made a difference. You could definitely tell that it was an up in. We went up in tempo when he came on, and
100%.
And it actually looked like we might equalise when he came on, which it really wasn't looking beforehand after Giroud had gone off. You just worry now. Now that he's had the one injury against Norwich, I'm forever worried that it's going to happen again. And
that's the thing. That's the thing about the hamstring. It's a constantly recurring injury, muscle injury.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see. Ozil had... he was pretty poor, really, I thought. But I'm not going to criticise Ozil because I know Jack loves him. What's your view on Mesut Ozil?
I thought Alexis Sanchez was absolutely brilliant, mate, when he came on.
I'll come back to you on Alexis in a minute, but whilst we've got Rob, I want to get his opinion on Ozil. Really,
Ozil, I cannot put into words. I honestly think he is the first player we've had since probably Bergkamp.
I've compared Ozil to Bergkamp. Thank you very much. And they're very similar. I think. They're very similar. Bergkamp's better, right? But they're very. Yeah.
Playing that as Arsene Wenger's described it, a quarterback sort of role. He is.
Jack and Paul mock me mercilessly for my view on that, and it's like I'm just going to shove it back at them now, right?
I thought he was brilliant against Chelsea.
Yeah. All right. So Jack, so Alexis, go on.
Yeah, mate.
Go on.
He was brilliant, I thought, but you couldn't do much with 10 men against the stone wall of Chelsea's defence.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Kurt Zuma looked like he was itching to just put him between two bits of bread and eat him up, like. But just and I genuinely I've never been more impressed with a footballer in the first 2 years of playing for a football club than I have with Alexis Sanchez. He just. I never get new players on the back of my shirt, but I am genuinely considering getting Alexis Sanchez on the back of an Arsenal shirt because
I've already got it.
I just think he is everything that I want at my football club. And yes, you do worry about, like Rob was saying, about injuries and hamstring and that kind of stuff. But, when you have a player like that, I think you build the team around them. So you get better players in who can fill the role that, if it pops again, they can come in and it doesn't look too different as a shape, or you adjust and that kind of stuff. And I'm pulling your leg a little bit about Ozil. He couldn't do much in that game because he was just being stifled by Matic and John Obi Mikel. And the sooner Nemanja Matic leaves this league, all the better for me, because he is just an absolute behemoth, that geezer. I love him so much, and I wish he played for us. And I really, really like him. I mean, John Obi Mikel's a bit special bus, but I think that he is the sort of exact kind of thing that we need. Do you know what I mean? In our midfield. Although I have heard that Francis Coquelin is in contention for playing this Saturday.
Yeah, I've read that.
Oh my God, the sooner we get him back.
How amazing would that be? Because he's meant to be out till March.
Yeah, and I just hope it's not one of these rushing back jobs again. But I just,
you know how well they go,
oh my god.
They?
Yeah, absolutely. How is Jack Wilshere? Has anyone heard yet? But
don't know exactly. But I couldn't really care. I have to be honest.
I know you couldn't. Bless your warped mind. Bless you. I just think that the sooner we get Francis Coquelin back, all the better, because we needed his kind of bite in midfield on Saturday. Here's a question for you. Do you think if Francis had played on Saturday that the ball through to Costa that got Mertesacker sent off would have been there?
No.
Rob?
No, I'm trying to see if I can envisage where Flamini was on the pitch, but I could probably think that he's in the wrong position.
I'll tell you why, because Coquelin would have kicked S. Fabregas right in the knee.
Oh, there's a vision. If anyone's feeling depressed, just think about that. Kicking it, not in the knee, right in between the legs. Okay. Oh, lovely.
That is, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I didn't go for that option, I have to be honest.
Yeah. Always go with that option, mate.
Quite, yeah. I mean, it's sad to say. I mean, there were a few boos about Fabregas, and I don't know where you two stand on the Fabregas issue. You should be booing him. I don't think that's disgraceful, personally.
Boo them all.
I'm a little bit. Boo them all. I'm a little bit more inclined to when he walked off the pitch and he pointed to the badge. It's not kissing the badge, you know what I mean? Like, but that made me a little bit cross. But I mean,
that's how loyal he is to any football club. There, do you know what I mean?
Well, loyalty in football's dead.
Of course it is,
and it has been for a while.
I mean, I'm personally not on the side of if I was in the crowd, I'd be booing him just because post Invincibles he was probably my Arsenal hero. But that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I'm not against people that boo him just because it is infuriating. This is this person that came over here when he was 15. Arsene Wenger was his father figure. He was the captain of the club at a very young age, and he said, "No, I want to go play for Barcelona." And I know we all knew it was going to happen, but I think we probably thought it was going to be more towards 30 than it really was. And
I don't really have a problem with that, and nor do I have a problem with him going to Chelsea because he was there for us.
And we didn't take him.
And we didn't take him. So, and he wants to play in the Premier League, as everyone does. So.
I completely agree with all of that. However, he does play for Chelsea. Automatically, meaning he gets booed and hissed at every opportunity.
The voice of reason.
There you go. Yeah. If I saw him on the street with like some shopping bags and he was really struggling, I'd put more shopping bags on top of him so he couldn't move.
But I'd seen Chelsea fans going, "Oh, look at look at the response they give." And we give great responses to like Czech and Lampard and stuff, but that's not the same. Like those players didn't leave.
Not black people on the underground in France.
Yeah, that is true. But those are players that didn't leave under like a shroud of controversy with being courted by Barcelona for 2 years.
Right. Yeah. I also I think I retweeted about something. I can't remember what it was from, but it was obviously a time. I mean, that Chelsea fans were being as Chelsea fans do, and just wrecking town centres and dancing around like Neanderthals, and it was great joy, clearly. So I mean, as I saw the game, Cesc bossed it, unfortunately, and that's why Chelsea won. They gave Fabregas way too much space. Flamini particularly gave him way too much space because he's up the blooming pitch trying to score goals. What was any thought on that, Jack?
Yeah, he did have a very, very good game. I thought their stand-up performer, honestly, was Willian. I thought he was absolutely unplayable and has been for most of the season, to be honest with you. As we've said a couple of times on the eFootball podcast, which you can find on iTunes, I'm sure you won't mind me plugging, that he is by far and away their best performer and most consistent performer. I was a tad worried when Hazard came on as well because,
Remy
he always
scored twice.
Yeah. But he was born offside, so I was never really worried about Remy.
He's got the touch of a what as well.
Yeah, yes, baby elephant. You're right. I just think that it all comes back again to Coquelin. If Coquelin was in there, like you said, I think you would have put him out of the game. To be honest with you, and kind of nullified his assets. Let's put it that way.
Nicely put. Yeah.
Thanks, man. He did have a really good game. I mean, sort of front to back, they did play very, very well, Chelsea, apart from all the cheating. But, Courtois is a very good goalkeeper as well. Really, really impressive. He's humongous, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen someone who is actually 6'5" in real life, That's quite tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty tall. Yeah.
As it turns out. I was probably about 500 yards away from them. I'm like, bloody hell, he's a big lad.
Yeah, I'm always looking well up, to be honest, at 6'5" people.
It's,
if it's all that. Yeah.
But no, I don't. And I mean, Alexei really and truly for me was the standout performer for us, as well as Joel Campbell's played over the last couple of weeks. Didn't think he had much of a kick, to be honest with you.
You can see why Wenger kept Joel on, though, can't you?
Sort of, yeah. But I mean, for me, if anyone was to go, it'd have been Joel or Theo.
It wasn't going to be Theo. Categorically tell you, well, not on his 10th anniversary. God.
It should have been in hindsight, but isn't hindsight a wonderful thing?
Even hindsight, he wouldn't have been subbed. No chance. Not a chance. A game of regret for me personally, but there we go. Right, yeah. So, kind of on this, there's a couple of rumours doing the rounds that Wenger's about to sign an extended contract. Oh dear, Rob.
I was going to classify myself as like an Arsene knows best, but that's not exactly what I am. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, Wenger out every time we lose. But I mean, I was under the assumption that this was going to be his last contract, and my hope was he'll go out as a Premier League winner, and then we get Pep. But I do live in somewhat of a dream world.
Well, I've still got a theory that that's going to happen, but it's obviously looking less likely after Sunday. But obviously, it's far from a defining game completely. We are still level on points with Leicester. I know we do have a tough run of games now, but I mean, it's my theory. Win the Premier League and he goes off. I'd like him to go off into the sunset, but he's going to just go upstairs, isn't he? Really, it's going to be sort of walk towards heaven, I guess. Sort of. Jack.
I have thought for about the last 4 years that it's time for a new start. Personally,
yeah.
Everyone's saying that the type of manager who stays at a club for long, significant periods of time is over. But I think that if presented with the right club, it could potentially not be over. There could be, someone out there for us who could, leave a legacy of 10, 15 years again. I genuinely do.
If anyone's going to do it, we're going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I like about our football club, is that we would actually give people time about stuff as well. Now, I know that other clubs out there have been level with the same thing about we give managers time, that kind of stuff. And inevitably, that's a word that I've just made up, they get, hoisted out after 10 months or whatever. And I genuinely hope that some of the more vocal fans on social media and Arsenal Fan TV and places like that give the new person, whoever it is, time to develop their own style and their own playing time and that kind of stuff. Should Arsenal sign a new contract? Not for me.
Yeah.
I think it's time for him to move on. I wouldn't be too surprised if he actually went and did something else. Maybe managed France after Didier Deschamps left. Maybe went and managed PSG. Maybe went and managed Real Madrid.
Well, there's a number of clubs. Like he's always gone back because he used to. I think he was on the board at PSG or something like that, or Monaco, one of the two. And he's obviously managed Monaco before, and some said he might go back there. But PSG has been at the top of his list for a long time. But I just don't see that happening now for some reason.
I think that wherever he goes, he's not going to get as much control, obviously, as he has at Arsenal. And I think
he has carte blanche at Arsenal.
Mate, he has a dictatorship unlike any other in the world. Fidel Castro's got less of a dictatorship than Arsene Wenger. But I think that if he was going to stay at Arsenal, I do think things drastically need to be improved on a coaching and sort of background scenes kind of aspect. I think that if he does sign a new contract, there should be a stipulation that he doesn't take training anymore. I think that we need to get as many ex-players as possible in to take training and teach these players what it is to play for Arsenal Football Club. I think that the management setup and transfers needs to be addressed as well, about identifying what players Arsene wants, or maybe get someone in who can identify talent and present them to Arsene, or maybe not even that, maybe just get someone who signs players and Arsene fits them into the side. I don't know, but something definitely needs to happen, because I don't think the level of players outside of the people like Ozil and Sanchez, the level that we need are not being signed by us at the moment.
Well, the thing, yeah, fair enough. The thing about that is the levels in Ozil are pretty rare.
Yes, true, but I think we should have signed Anthony Martial personally, or at least been interested in the guy. I think we should have been interested in people like Arnautovic or Riyad Mahrez, or it goes on and on.
Austin, crikey.
Well, there you go, another one, perfect example. Even people like this guy at Newcastle, the Dutch guy. Wijnaldum, yeah, people like that. Even just interest. You don't even hear interest in these players anymore. That for me is the only stipulation if he was to sign a new contract, but it will never happen. And I think that's why, for me, it's time to sort of be given a gold Rolex and sold. Thank you very much. See you. Good night.
not a replica gold Rolex. Not a fake.
No, you can have a real one.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I think I'd be quite distressed if Wenger signed a new contract. I don't really. I know someone said to me the other day he wants to beat Ferguson's record, which is 24 years. Did he get to 25? I'm not sure.
26, I think.
Is it 26 years? Goodness me. If he wants to do that, then we've got him until 2020. So.
I have to say, I'm just chatting to the boys who I'm doing the football podcast with later on, and they're absolutely tearing me apart for being an Arsenal fan at the moment. This is what the level we have to deal with being Arsenal fans is at the moment.
You've got that to look forward to then, which is nice to hear. Have you got any Chelsea fans on there tonight?
We don't have any Chelsea fans. We have got a West Ham fan and a Sunderland fan. So I don't know what they're going to gun me about too much, but I'm sure I've got lots more ammunition back for them. So it's all
I tell
good.
you what, it's a shame. Can I line you up with a Chelsea fan, sling one in there, and just see you go at it, basically?
He'd have to be bloody good, I know that.
Yeah, that definitely will be blue, so to speak. Anything else you want to talk about, chaps? Anything about El Neni, maybe? Why didn't he? We've finally signed
it's a type of game that you can bring someone like that into, personally.
When is going to... I said, Stoke's not the right game, but when is the right game then? Burnley?
Burnley.
Just kind of answer our own question, haven't I? Really?
Yeah, I think that is I think he's got to start in that game. Be interesting to see the partnership of El Nene and Coquelin, if that can happen. And obviously now we've got the powerhouse of Koscielny and Gabriel at the back, which I've longed to see for a long, long time. But hopefully that'll go and fruit very quickly.
I think they're still, personally, as a partnership, I think they're too rash and kind of raw together to be really solid, especially in the bigger games. But against Burnley, might be all right. But then Gabriel's just like,
we're going to have to start with in the next 3 games.
Yeah, right, yeah. You're quite right. So a little bit about Debussy as well. It looks like he's by a Leverkusen, possibly on loan. I think he's been touted to Villa, but obviously you wouldn't want to go to Villa if your life depended on it, probably. Sorry, Ollie. A little bit of my ed at on the newspaper, but I've said it now, so there we go. And I think because he needs to move because of the World Cup, and it's in France. I don't really... Deschamps loved him, but now, as you say, Jack Deschamps gone, and Sané's playing pretty well, have to play this season, so I don't really see him starting games, even if he did do well at Leverkusen, but we'll see. Okay, look,
I hope he does go. Just to round it off there, I don't think he's enough for us personally, but that's just me. What do you think, Rob?
No, I'd be happy to see him go. I mean, we need bodies, but he's not a body I'd like to see playing again. What do we make of Jenkinson? I know he's done his cruciate ligament, hasn't he? So he's out for the season, but we've got him back now. With West Ham signing Byram, do we think we're keeping him now, or do you think he'll be out the door?
I hope so. I hope we keep Carl. Really like him.
Progress, definitely at West Ham.
I really like him.
He's turned a prolific goal scorer from right back for West Ham.
At both ends.
Yeah, absolutely at both ends. Yeah, correct.
I think that if we can have anyone around the club who has Arsenal in their heart, it can't be a bad thing.
Yeah, I think I'll echo those sentiments. Wrap things up there. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks, Rob, for joining us.
That's all right. Yeah.
And we hope to have you on a future episode if you'll have us.
Yeah.
And
It sounds so enthusiastic, I have to say.
No. Thanks, Rob. You will not be back next week.
Right, nice. And Jack, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Say good luck with the show.
Thanks very much.
In a minute.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, I bet. And I've been Neil Leverett, your host. You can get me on Twitter at the91st Neil. That's at the91STNEIL. There's the Facebook page, and I'll come back to you, Jack, for your Twitter handle.
Yeah, my Twitter handle is at diamond__Jack.
Rob, do you have a Twitter handle?
Yeah, it's Rob Tonkinson, TONKINSON94. It's going to give out an email, but that's my Twitter handle.
You can give out your email address if you want.
No, it's alright, I don't need any more emails.
Fair enough. Okay, thanks very much for joining us. We will be back on Sunday, I believe, to talk about what we discussed. Thanks once again for listening. We'll see you soon.